Aron, do you have a card there that piques your interest you'd like it to answer?
That piques my interest? Yes. I selected a favorite. I don't have a clear, certainly not an ingenious answer for most of these. I'm sorry to say. But there's one.
Pick a card, any card.
Yeah, this one. I love this one. Stephen Nicola.
There he is.
The U.S. of A. is a self-help nation. A lot of that is drivel and self-flattering, false puffing up of pride. For instance, Tom Cruise thinks he can do anything instantaneously because he wants it. How do we eradicate this horrible attitude of these instant competence and expertise? I may not have read the question correctly, but I like the gist about Tom Cruise thinking he can do anything instantly. He's not alone, I'm sorry to say. There are a lot of celebrities that share the same sort of delusion. Will Smith, who I actually like Will Smith and all the characters he's ever played. I hate him in interviews when he's not playing a character. And yeah, I'm sorry that I do. His son is brilliant, but the man is not. I'm sorry. In one interview, he talked about a very similar thing to creating something simply by wanting it, by willing something to exist with the passion of belief. Clap your hands if you want the fairy to live. Yeah. If you believe hard enough, you can make it real. All we have to do is convince ourselves that it's true, and I've heard people say this. It doesn't matter if it really is true. It only matters that you believe that it's true.
Well,
we are talking
I know
about
that's
people.
True because I believed that Don McElroy is an idiot.
For some of us, the truth matters. For some of us, what I want to believe is not powerful enough to convince me. If I could believe whatever I want, I certainly wouldn't believe what I do. I'd be a Jedi.
Yeah. I knew he was cool.
I have a pet dinosaur.
A lot of these questions can be paraphrased as, what can we do? Mm-hmm. You know, what do we do with this government? What is the Board of Education trying to do? What's its purpose? How do we fix this? And the Board of Education in Texas has been an international embarrassment. And that's helping, I think, to fix this, because people look at how ridiculous this has all gotten. And what they want to do and why they want to do it, you know, they want to colorize exactly the way I was raised. You know, when I said, well, this is the best damn country. And yeah, we've heard that. But what do the numbers say? You know, when you talk about, abstinence-only policy when they go back over the health thing, how well did that work? I mean, Texas, not only, as I understand it correctly, the figures may have changed since last year, but last year it was that Texas led the country either in teen pregnancies or repeat teen pregnancies.
We're still number one in repeat births to teens, although we slipped to 3 in teen pregnancy.
Oh, yay!
Not incidentally because the rate got better, it actually got worse, but the rates in New Mexico and Mississippi got worse faster. So it's not that we're making progress. Yeah.
So the great justification is, well, yeah, look at Mississippi.
Yeah.
And I also want to encourage you guys, because I read a lot of the same questions of what can we do? Where is there any hope in this? I read one that makes me want to cry, that this is difficult to hear because it seems so hopeless, almost to the point of being utterly hopeless. And I did promise my principal when I told him that I was coming to talk to you guys, I told him that I'm going to try really hard not to stand up and say, we're doomed. And he said, well, we appreciate that. And and he's like, but we are. And so, but what are some of the things that you can do? And I would, and wholeheartedly, I'm going to save Ryan from doing any proselytizing here, and say, get on the TFN website and sign up for their emails, because they do send out regular emails that are pertinent to exactly what's going on, and they will help keep you informed, and not just in a vague sense of, oh, we're doomed, but in a specific sense of, this is the teak, we are involved in doing this, and this is what you can do. They have action points on their website which can lead you in the right direction. They can point you to your school board information, and they have a lot of resources that I've used as a teacher and that you guys can use as concerned citizens as well.
I would also stress that, I'm on a similar mailing list for something called the AFC, American Family, Coalition, something like that. And I'm on their list just so I can see what the opposition is doing. The numbers don't matter. Facts be damned. Everything is spun with an emotional bias. Every presentation is an attack. Everything has to be inflammatory language. It all has to motivate you through prejudice and paranoia. These are the tools, and these are what the lobbies are using. And the only way that I can see really to counter that is with a louder voice. And I found mine. She found hers. He found his. Let's all get a little louder.
I have one too.
I pointed at you. But yeah, whatever medium we can to be more expressive and more outspoken. Because most of this crap that we're arguing over began in the living room of an elderly couple of conservatives. And it led to this.
In the 50s. Mel and Norma Gabler, is that who you're? Yeah. I would say, just on a final note, I'm not hopeless at all. It was depressing to sit in the board hearing room all spring and watch these Neanderthals rewrite the curriculum for my kids' history class, and prior to that, science.
But didn't you listen? There were no such thing as Neanderthals.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
You weren't paying attention at all,
Good
were
point.
you?
Let me ask this: How many people are? Why don't somebody run for the school board? How difficult is it to get on?
I think Amy.
We have Amy Parsons.
Amy Parsons is.
Do you?
Yeah.
We have Amy Parsons. She's not here, is she? I don't think. But
No.
but we do have people that run for the State Board of Education. Stay informed. Keep up with what's going on. And
You can grab our voter guide. We say every race and every candidate answered questions about this. But I would just close by saying I'm not hopeless. I think this spring they climbed finally so far out on this limb, we may really can saw it off behind them now. And this is my point. I think the real game is at the legislature here in Texas if you want to fix this. Yes, we got to continue to sort of counteract their wrong-headed ideas subject by subject matter for as long as we need to. And yes, we work to elect better candidates. But if we can convince the legislature who has not closed their mind to this possibility, that there is a better way to write curriculum and adopt textbooks that gets the politics out to a great degree and improves our kids' possibility to get into a good college and to get good jobs, 21st century jobs. That's an argument the legislature is more willing to hear now that they've been embarrassed over and over by this board. The board does not have a lot of friends at the legislature, even among the conservative faction. I'm actually more hopeful about the long-term potential to change the fundamental system now than I have been in a long time. So I'm not down.
If you do a Venn diagram of all the different other communities and groups and stuff, there's certain issues where you'll find people who think just like you do in religious communities. And people like Americans United, for example, does this very well. And I guarantee you can get more people on the boards by going to the more free-thinking religious people and say, hey, we have this in common. Let's put somebody here, you put somebody here, and you get the numbers for the votes. And I've seen it work on the other extreme, and I don't know why it wouldn't work if we can't learn to work together with at least the people who are a little more free-thinking and religious,
I'd also like to point out that most of the populace is relatively moderate. They don't actually pay attention. Right. And if we had the voting majority actually wake up and take a look at what's going on, then you're going to change, because they're not going to stay with the ideologues that have been leading them around by the nose up to this time.
Right. It's like the Tea Party. They said it's like less than 5% of the Republican Party is the Tea Party thing. But look how much power they have. Can you imagine if 5% of us got active, or the moderates? We need our own little.
Another thing to keep in mind is
whiskey
that
party.
we do want to befriend the Ryans of the world who are out there as religious believers and say, look, if we start teaching kids religion in the classroom, where's it going to end? Do you want us teaching your kids about Satanism? Do you want us teaching your kids about all of the religions of the world in a science class? And I have actually found that can be very effective. It seems a bit deceitful to me, but because that's not something that I would ever do as a science teacher. But to say that, yes, encroaching religion in the classroom is a bad thing, and it could be a bad thing for your kids as much as for mine. And not alienating ourselves by saying that we have this atheist agenda to take religion out of the classroom because God is bad, but to take religion out of the classroom because it's not the place, right?
Thank you very much, panel. Thank you all.